Hello and welcome again to the ARC Automation Studio. I'm Alan Avery, a senior analyst here at ARC Advisory Group, and today's topic in the studio is going to be industrial IoT edge software platforms. And joining me in the studio is Chantal Polsonetti, a vice president here at ARC, and she just completed a study on the topic.
Hi, Alan. Great to talk to you today. I've been in the industry for over 30 years, and in my analyst career, I've been covering the industrial IoT edge hardware and software markets really since the inception of the industrial internet about 8 years ago. Prior to that, I covered everything from the network infrastructure tier all the way down through controllers, sensors and transmitters, I/O, etc. Now, in terms of these industrial IoT edge software platforms themselves, they're typically used for applications related to predictive maintenance, remote access, remote monitoring, etc. In sort of the current day, they're also used in edge compute type applications such as AI, machine learning, and analytics.
Thanks, Chantal. What trends are driving customers to change their buying criteria for industrial IoT edge software platforms?
Well, that's a great question because the buying patterns around industrial IoT edge software platforms are continuing to evolve as the core digital transformation strategies themselves evolve. So, for example, we've gone from the vision of the industrial Internet of Things as a pervasive infrastructure that pervades really everything throughout the architecture, sort of a technology for technology's sake type of pursuit, to one that's really emphasizing business outcomes. We find now that customers are much more likely to pursue specific target value propositions in areas such as maintenance, asset management, reduced downtime, increased flexibility, etc. And this is also something that we highly recommend when dealing with our specific customers in pursuit of industrial IoT solutions. Another thing that's really changing the buying criteria is the increasing role of the hyperscalers or enterprise cloud solution providers descending to the edge in pursuit of the data that the applications that are resident at the enterprise tier require in order to perform functions, say for example, such as analytics. And certainly this brings greater IT influence into the buying process. Another thing that's been coming about recently, or we've become aware of, is the increased availability of bundled solutions. So it used to be there was a heavy software content in industrial edge platform solutions, but now as the market's evolving, we do see much greater reliance on bundled solutions that could be in the form of, say, hardware, software, and services bundles dedicated to specific target outcomes and sold as a subscription service, including the hardware and the software and the services. We also see IT and automation hardware suppliers partnering with software providers in order to add value via the software content to what's increasingly a low margin hardware offering.
Next, what are some of the underlying drivers that have been critical to growth in the industrial IoT edge space?
Well, some of the drivers that have been critical to growth in the market have to be taken in the context of the unprecedented macroeconomic and business challenges that manufacturers are faced with given the COVID-19 epidemic. But the thing is about these edge solutions that they can really deliver value in bad times as well as good. And these capabilities reflect the broad range of functionality inherent in the different industrial edge software offerings. So, for example, a manufacturer who wants to reduce personnel both on-prem as well as in the field can take care of that sort of initial tier value proposition of remote access and address those issues with an edge software platform solution. And then on the sort of the other end of the functional spectrum, as far as the good times reference is concerned, we also see manufacturers being able to exploit industrial edge software platforms for AI, ML, analytics, and other really data scientific type of business improvement types of strategies. We also know, as we've echoed previously, that the edge really does play a critical role in achieving business outcomes. In our mind, it's certainly a core enabler of digital transformation, whether manufacturers are looking to transform their operations, their connected products that are sold by OEMs and machine builders and the like, and even to add incremental services and service innovation. And this is true whether the outcome is targeted at more of the industrial internet value proposition as it relates to reduced downtime and maximum availability, or the Industry 4.0 value proposition in areas such as flexibility and batch size of one. Also, one of the things that's really heightened the emphasis on the edge is the cloud providers' attention to the edge. They have introduced many tools that target things like, ranging from device management, again, to analytics, and their IT customers are now using these tools to access that data at the edge that's so necessary for the enterprise applications. And we also know that the edge really does solve problems with cloud-based digital transformation solutions. Our customers, particularly the issues around security, latency of response, and just the general distrust of off-prem compute and operations, these kinds of issues can be addressed via an industrial IoT edge software solution. There's also the issue of the migration from proof of concept to production that's been impacting growth. This is actually our second update on this topic, and we find that the pace of scaling has not hit the targets that we anticipated, nor have many of the suppliers or providers hit did they hit their 2019 revenue targets relative to when we talked to them earlier on in the year.
Now, what market trends do you think will have the greatest impact on shaping the strategic initiatives of suppliers?
There's actually several different opportunities for strategic thrust that we recommend for industrial IoT edge software platform providers. In the context of a software business, certainly we see the opportunity to land and expand as successes in a pilot installation can be expanded across multiple installations. The unique opportunity within industrial applications is that's true for not only landing and expanding across new installations, but also the plethora of retrofit or legacy installations that most manufacturing plants represent. We also, if you're an industrial edge software platform provider today, you have to deal with the cloud providers, as we've echoed in a previous discussion here. And really, what is your value proposition relative to the enterprise cloud providers? And one of them certainly is the ability to provide vertical as well as horizontal functionality. Vertical meaning understanding of the requirements, the industry-specific requirements inherent in many of our processes. There's also a great emphasis in today's world of industrial IoT edge on both open source and cloud native technologies, which are not mutually exclusive, as you know. So there's a lot of new business models at the edge, some of which are sort of like, say, like enterprise Linux, where the software itself is open sourced and provided for free, and then suppliers are building service models to monetize their offerings around that open source content. We also work with our supplier customers to help them match their go-to-market strategy to their scaling aspirations, and that certainly applies to the choice of customers, the choice of channels, and the difficulties that the OT-centric channels can represent, particularly when third parties are involved, as well as which partners give you the best opportunity to scale according to your business plan. And then lastly, but we list it last, but it's certainly first in the eyes of the industrial customer, is to make sure that you have a zero trust, defense in depth, really modern security strategy that corresponds to what the customer on the IT side is increasingly used to as it relates to the advances in IT security.
And that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks for sharing your insights on the industrial IoT edge software platform space, Chantal. Audience members who would like more information about this study or topic, we encourage you to get in touch with the client manager here at ARC or the author herself directly. That does it for us in the ARC Automation Studio. Thanks for your attention and have a great day.